Hello and welcome to my third video on the road to Venus Next. In this video series I want to talk about everything Venus Next related and give you all my tips and tricks so that you're well prepared for the upcoming launch of the expansion on Steam. Today I'm going to talk about Viron, the corporation I was most hyped to play when I first got the expansion. Let's get started. Viron starts with 48 MC and a microbe tag. It has a simple yet fascinating action that lets you use one of your blue card actions that has already been used that gen. When do you want to pick Viron? Well, it's actually quite simple. If you don't have a blue action card on hand, then Viron is just a generic corp with average starting capital and a tag that in most situations is not useful at all. If you do have a blue action card, you'll need to evaluate how useful it is to use that action twice per gen, and compare it to what your other corp choice grants you. If you only have tardigrades on hand and your other corp is Terraforming with 3 Earth tags, well, you know what you're going to pick in this scenario. One thing to keep in mind is that the amount of action cards doesn't really matter. You should mainly look at the strongest one that you have, because you can only copy one action, and you will do that with the best action card you have. This means that only its action should determine whether you want to pick Viron or not. But how to play Viron? Well, it's simple. Get your blue action card down and try to make the most of what the second activation grants you. But there are some caveats to that. First of all, remember that you have to pay the respective cost of that action also for the second activation. This makes some action cards that might seem perfect for Viron not great at all, mainly Oxygen Bumpers and Physics Complex. But it can also catch you off guard with cards like Restricted Area, Development Center, Electrocat and Space Elevator. Although I'd still say that these 4 are still some of the best you can get for Viron. The next thing to keep in mind, sometimes it's okay to keep Viron as your corp, even if you can't get that action card down Gen 1. And with this I mainly talk about AI Central. If you have AI with Viron, it's definitely worth keeping that combo, even if you can only get AI down in Gen 2, 3 or 4. The amount of cards you're going to draw from that combo is just insane. But Death Center, Electrocat and Space Elevator are also prime examples. You probably cannot use their actions in Gen 1 most of the time, just because you won't have those resources yet, but if you can make sure to be able to use them continuously from Gen 2 onwards, then it's definitely worth picking up Viron. And lastly, keep in mind that you don't always have to use your ability on the same card. Although I said in the when to pick section to mainly look at your strongest blue card when determining whether to pick this corp, and that the amount of blue cards doesn't really matter, having some choice and flexibility each gen is really nice. Maybe you don't need more cards, but rather money to play them, so you use your ability on Electrocat instead of AI for that one gen. Maybe it's the last gen and you could get one more point on tardigrades if you double up on that one action. Be flexible and think about what action you really need in each point in time. In terms of milestones and awards, it's not looking great for Viron. Its microbe tag is good for colleges, and if you find a good floater card you can get Hoverlord pretty easily. But that's about it. Maybe you can also find Eccentric if you get small animals down early, but there are so many better action cards to double up on with your ability that I wouldn't really count on that. But that's everything you need to know about Viron for the upcoming Venus Next release on Steam. How do you like this corp? Do you have more tips and tricks to share with the community? Then please leave them in the comments. And if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like and consider subscribing to not miss any videos on the road to Venus Next. See you in the next one.